nilai, and thereafter completed her secondary education at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Dato Muhammad Said Nilai. The petitioner read law at University of Leeds, United Kingdom. This is where I first started my academic career, Yang Arif, where she obtained the degree with first-class honours. During her university days, the petitioner was actively involved in mooting competitions and even won the award for Best Mooter in the Jayanti Arumugam Internal Moot. She also developed a keen interest in doing research, which led her to join the Grander Works Academic Conference, as well as writing a dissertation in her third year. Thereafter, the petitioner completed a certificate of legal practice in 2019. On January 2020, the petitioner commenced her pupillage under the able guidance of my learned friend, Miss Claudia Chia of Mrs. Screen. The petitioner places on record that she has had a prolific, strenuous, and memorable 9 months of pupillage experience in Mrs. Screen. On this day of admission, the petitioner would like to first and foremost thank the Almighty God, who made all things possible and from whom all blessings flow. It is only by God's grace and mercy that the petitioner may stand before us today. Next, the petitioner would like to thank her parents for their unconditional love and their sacrifices, both seen and unseen. The petitioner would like to thank her dad for always working hard to provide for the family, for putting her through law school and going through all the hardships so that she can have a better life. The petitioner would also like to thank her mother for believing in her even when she doesn't believe in herself, and for never failing to be there for her whenever she needs it. The petitioner notes that without her parents, she would not have been able to make it this far, and she hopes that she will continue to make them proud. The petitioner would also like to thank her brother for his support, for never missing an important moment in her life. In addition, the petitioner would like to place special thanks to all her friends from school, university, church, and work for their constant support and blessing. The petitioner would also like to give special thanks to Miss Winnie and Michelle and Kawai for their never failing love, support, and acceptance. My Lord, I believe that your petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of this Honourable Court. I believe all your petitioner's papers are in order, and that my learned friends from the Attorney General's Chambers, the Bar Council, and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee, respectively, have no objections to this motion. Accordingly, I humbly move this Honourable Court to admit and enroll your petitioner, Ms. Elizabeth E.U. Chia Zing, as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya.
Ada bantahan, Arif?
No, Judge.
Tiada bantahan, Yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Elizabeth Yu Chia Sin untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Masya-Allah, Yang Arif. My Lord, may I seek leave of this Honourable Court for the petitioner to self-probe?
Dibenarkan, silakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Sama-sama.
Thank you, Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, petisyen kedua 18-298-02-2020. Silakan P2, perkenalkan diri anda.
Arif, nama saya Jaslyn Ning Lee Jin dan saya pempetisyen kedua.
Silakan Cik Ong.
Okey. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Ong Yujen hadir bagi pihak pempetisyen Jaslyn Lee Jin pada hari ini. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing dari Yang Berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur telah diperkenalkan awal tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya ingin mohon kebenaran Yang Arif untuk meneruskan hujah saya di dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Silakan.
My Lord, may I introduce the petitioner, Jaslyn Lee Jin. The petitioner was born on 20th of January 1990 in Kuantan to Mr. Ling Eng Chai and Mrs. Tan Nek Ying. Due to her ardent love of the language and tools and power of expression, the petitioner believes that life has always nudged her in the direction of reading law even from a young age. Regardless of detours along the way, the petitioner found that she always returned to law like an old friend. So the petitioner decided it was time to embrace it and gave it a good old college try. It started out merely as trying to be responsible, but the petitioner had actually desired to run off to make a career in the performing arts. But somewhere along the way, an appreciation and respect for law settled in. The sense of pride and belonging in being part of a time-honored profession and traditions and principles that made it whole. She does not regret one single moment in her journey, as they have made some of the best times of her life. And with that, the petitioner read law and studied for the bar at the University of Northumbria. After taking the bar, the petitioner commenced her pupillage in Mrs. Adnan Sundra and Lau under the tutelage of Miss Dilis Tan Yi Ye, where she gained a frantic realization that practice can be shockingly different from education. It was humbling and thought-provoking and yet enriching experience. The petitioner still decided to give this thing a real shot, and a real shot she has given it. Today, the petitioner wishes to take this opportunity to thank her parents for their endless generosity and tireless sacrifice, which has built her and gifted her the best years she's had. Where words fail but must prove adequate anyway, the petitioner hopes that they know she loves them and that as an adult, she sees the sheer worth of which they have given to her. She knows she's been extremely lucky and wishes to express how truly grateful she is. The petitioner would like to thank them also for their understanding and indulgence in her wandering road here and there to make it known that they will forever be the rock upon which she rests on. The petitioner would like to thank her pupil master, Miss Dilis Tan Yi Ye, for taking a chance on her and giving her this opportunity, and to express gratitude for her guidance and advice leading up to this day. She wishes to thank her pupillage firm for fostering a congenial work environment, for being generous and for taking steps to ensure the well-being of those working there. Incidentally, the petitioner would also like to show her appreciation to Tenaga Nita and the Friday team. Working with them has been a joy, and she wishes to say that she's glad she has had the opportunity to work together. The petitioner would also like to thank profusely Mr. Muazzam Hassan, a dear friend to the petitioner, for his patience and endurance. She would like to express that his long-suffering forbearance inspires much gratitude, and that she does not take his time, tolerance, and support for granted. The petitioner would like to thank all her friends for being there every step of the way. No quest is complete without every member of the fellowship, and the petitioner would like to thank them for being her merry companions. The petitioner is extremely grateful also to her mover, that's me, today, who has kindly and graciously agreed to take the time to move her call. She is greatly appreciative of his patience and guidance in preparing for this ceremony. Yang Arif, I believe that the petitioner is the fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of this honourable court. I believe all the petitioner's papers are in order, and that my learned friends from the Attorneys General Chambers, the Bar Council and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee respectively have no objections to this petition. I humbly move this Honourable Court to admit and enrol the petitioner, Jaslyn Ling Lee Jin, as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaysia.
Ada bantahan ya Arif?
No objections, Madam.
Ada bantahan yang Arif?
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Jaslyn Ling Lee Jin untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Masya Allah, Yang Arif. Sekarang saya pohon kebenaran mahkamah untuk pempetisyen menjubahkan dirinya sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Yang
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Sama-sama.
Dengan izin ya Arif, petisyen ketiga 18-312-02-2020. Silakan P3 perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Tam Hei Chi, pempetisyen ketiga.
Puan Nur Nazuha, please unmute your microphone. Puan Nur Nazuha, sila unmute-kan you punya microphone, kita tak dengar.
M3 sila unmute video sound tu. Puan Nur Nazuha, dengar ke? Allah. Okay, Puan Nur Nazuha, boleh start ke? Boleh mute dulu. Sorry, unmute. Unmute dulu. Okay, boleh start.
Dengan izin ya Arif, saya Nur Nazuha ya Arif, hadir bagi pihak pempetisyen ketiga iaitu Tan Pei Chi pada hari ini ya Arif, dan juga rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing telah diperkenalkan awal pagi tadi ya Arif. Ya Arif, saya ingin memohon untuk meneruskan hujahan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris ya Arif.
Silakan.
May it please your lordship ya Arif. The petitioner Tan Pei Chi was born in Pahang and is a third child of Mr. Tan Ah Chai and Madam Ong Pu Lin. The petitioner commenced her early education in SJKC and SMK Chung Ching in Pahang before she continuing her higher education at the University of Liverpool. After graduating with a second-class honors upper division of her law degree, she obtained her certificate in legal practice, CLP, in 2019. The petitioner then commenced her pupillage at Mrs. Sun Gandion and Partners under my learned friend and her pupil master, Cik Shuhaida binti Ahmad. The petitioner comes from a single-parent family. She was always accompanied by her mother and 4 sisters. Ever since her father passed away, her mother took the role as both mother and father and did her very best to raise all her daughters. The petitioner has never been seen a person as strong and driven as her mother. No matter how hard the life was, she kept plowing ahead and provided the best for her daughters. Motivated by her mother and having encountered some unpleasant things during her childhood, the petitioner learned to see what is truly important and what she needs to fight for in life. In order to protect her family at all times, she decided to read law and become a lawyer. Today, she has made it. She wishes to take this opportunity to express her utmost gratitude to her family. She would like to thank her mother for her unwavering support, love, and sacrifice, without which she would not have been able to achieve any of the milestones in her life. The petitioner would also like to thank her sisters for their continual encouragement and companionship. The petitioner is grateful for her pupil master, Cik Shuhaida binti Ahmad, for her willingness to share her experience and guidance throughout her pupillage. The petitioner would like to thank all her colleagues for their assistance and opportunities given to her. The petitioner would also like to thank all her friends who have supported her throughout her journey to becoming a lawyer. My Lord, I believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of this honourable court. I believe all the petitioner's papers are in orders and that all my learned friends from the Attorney General Chamber, the Bar Council and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee respectively have no objection to this motion. I humbly move this honourable court to admit and enroll the petitioner Tan Pei Chi as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya.
Ada bantahannya, Arif?
We have no objections, Madam.
Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor tiada bantahan yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesion Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Tan Pei Chi untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih, Arif. Ya Arif, saya pohon untuk pempetisyen menyarungkan jubahnya sendiri, Arif.
Silakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Sama-sama.
Dengan izin Ya Arif, petisyen keempat 18-404-03-2020. Silakan P4 perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Ya Arif, saya Encik Lui, pempetisyen keempat.
Silakan M4.
Dengan izin Arif, saya dan semua peguam pengusul yang hadir pada hari ini mewakili Pempetisyen keempat Encik Lui, rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Selangor.
Miss Gan, boleh dengar?
Minta maaf Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya dan semua peguam pengusul yang hadir pada hari ini mewakili Pempetisyen keempat, rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Selangor telah pun diperkenalkan kepada Yang Arif sebelum ini. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya mohon kebenaran Mahkamah Yang Mulia ini untuk meneruskan hujahan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dibenarkan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. May it please my lord. May I introduce the petitioner Ng Jin Rui. The petitioner was born in Krang, Johor, and is the eldest child of Mr. Ng Sui Fu and Madam Lim To Fun. The petitioner read laws at the University of London International Program, where he graduated with a second-class honor in the year of 2016 and was duly conferred the Certificate of Legal Practice in 2019. Thereafter, your petitioner commenced his privilege in Messrs. B.H. Lawrence and Co. under the tutelage of my learned friend, Mr. Bernard Hillary Lawrence. Like most teenagers, your petitioner was lost in the direction of his future after completing his secondary school education at SMK Gajah Berang, Melaka. Thankfully, he was offered a scholarship from the Public Service Department, JPA, to pursue GCE A-level in KDU College, followed by undergraduate degree program in law with University of London. It was indeed a great challenge as he was a science stream student back in secondary school. Despite difficulties in adapting himself in upstream subjects such as law and economics, he perseveres and determined to complete the law degree with a second-class honor. Apart from university study, your petitioner was actively involved in social and environmental charity works. His internship in Do Something Good under pandemic provided him with the opportunity to formulate creative fundraising strategy and corporate social responsibility proposal for corporate firms. His exposure has improved his communication skills and confidence in his negotiations ability at the corporate level. He was also an active participant in the Startup Street program that caters to stimulate innovative thinking and problem-solving skills needed for business startup. While he attending classes for certificates of legal practice, he also joined Pintas consulting groups as an IP executive in charge of patent right. This experience had enhanced his computer skills in drafting different documents in various formats. Meetings and consultation to clients had improved his communication skills and understanding the practice legal in the intellectual property. Your petitioners were headhunted by recruiter to join Citibank Berhad as an analyst for global financial intelligence units, focusing on anti-money laundering sector. He was first assigned to Global Investigation Task Force to work on projects to assess different risks and abnormality in transactions performed by both individuals and entities. He was later transferred to country FIU to carry out risk assessment and transactions monitoring specifically on Hong Kong entities. Throughout his journeys in Citibank Berhad, he embraced and learned the culture and structures of big corporations with multiple control and discipline enforced within organizations. Through classroom and online trainings provided by well-established global finance procedural and training department, he was able to keep himself up to date on the latest trend of money laundering and useful approach to analyze, detect, and escalate potential money laundering activity. Despite the hectic working schedule, your petitioner passed all the professional examination and was conferred the Certificate of Legal Practice in April 2019. He then commenced his pupillage in Messrs. B.H. Lawrence and Co. under tutelage of his pupil master, my learned friend, Mr. Bernard Hillary Lawrence. It was during his time at the firm that he developed passion for law. Through his meeting and discussion with clients, he enjoyed helping others to solve the problems. He learned various research techniques and applications of case law in drafting legal documents. He realized that one can only understand the law by application and not memorizing it. He worked hard to learn, experience, and grow while trying his best to solve problems for others. On this day of his admission, your petitioner would like to take this opportunity to express his appreciation and heartfelt gratitude to his wonderful parents who supported his decisions to embark on legal career, to his siblings for their patience and tolerance, especially during his examination period, to his pupil master, Mr. Bernard Henry Lawrence, for providing him opportunities and invaluable knowledge throughout his pupillage, to senior lawyer, Madam Caroline Lim, for her patience and sharing with him about her knowledge and experience, to senior lawyer, Mr. Daniel Ng Keng Yang, for his kind assistance, guidance, and practical advice throughout his pupillage, to his friend, Mr. Cho Chun Chang, for his help and sharing on updates on filing of his pupillage papers during this new norm, to his referee, legal aid supervisor, and everyone from Messrs. B.H. Lawrence and Co. for their continuous assistance and guidance to him, and to all his friends and always being there for him through his tough time in law school. My Lord, I believe that the petitioner is fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. I believe that all his papers are in order and there are no objection from my learned friends. I sincerely hope accordingly, I humbly pray for an order in terms.
Ada bantahan ya, Arif?
No objections, my lord.
Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor tiada bantahan yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesion Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Eng Jin Lui untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Much obliged, my lord. May I seek permission from this court to allow Ng Jin Lui to sell road?
Dibenarkan.
Much obliged, my lord.
Terima kasih Arif.
Sama-sama.
Dengan izin Arif, petisyen kelima 18-426-03-2020. Silakan P5, kenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izinnya Arif, nama saya Sophie Soraya binti Abdul Hadi, Pempetisyen kelima.
Mr. Rajesh, boleh start.
Dengan izin ya Arif, saya Rajesh Ragauji, Peguam pengusul yang hadir bagi pihak Pempetisyen Sophie Soraya binti Abdul Hadi pada hari ini. Ya Arif, bersama saya rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor telah diperkenalkan sebelum ini kepada yang Arif. Ya Arif, saya mohon untuk memperkenalkan Pempetisyen Sophie Soraya binti Abdul Hadi kepada Mahkamah yang mulia ini. Ya Arif, Pempetisyen dilahirkan pada 29 hari bulan Ogos 1991 di Kuala Lumpur. Pempetisyen adalah anak pertama kepada Encik Abdul Hadi, Ahmad dan Puan Fauziah Abdul Rahim. Setelah menamatkan pendidikan menengahnya di Sekolah Menengah Perempuan Sri Aman, Pempetisyen telah melanjutkan pelajarannya di peringkat diploma pada tahun 2009 di Universiti Teknologi Mara Negeri Sembilan dalam jurusan sains di Fakulti Sains Gunaan. Selepas berjaya memperolehi diploma sains tersebut, Pempetisyen Yang Arif telah pun meneruskan pengajiannya ke peringkat ijazah sarjana muda dalam jurusan undang-undang di Universiti Teknologi Mara Shah Alam pada 2012. Setelah Pempetisyen memperolehi ijazah tersebut, Yang Arif, Pempetisyen telah memulakan latihan dalam kamar Tetuan Khairezan Tio dan Nuriati di bawah didikan kawan baik saya iaitu Encik Khairezan bin Azizi. Selepas Pempetisyen berada di bawah didikan Encik Khairezan, Pempetisyen telah didedahkan kepada berbagai bidang undang-undang khususnya pengendalian harta tanah iaitu conveyancing, Arif. Pada hari ini, Arif, Pempetisyen ingin mengucapkan setinggi-tinggi terima kasih kepada kedua ibu bapa Pempetisyen iaitu Encik Abdul Hadi dan Puan Fauziah atas segala pengorbanan dan kasih sayang sokongan moral yang telah diberikan kepada Pempetisyen selama ini. Pempetisyen juga ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada seluruh keluarganya dan juga Puan Prema dan Encik Baskaran yang sentiasa memberi dorongan dan kata-kata semangat kepadanya supaya meneruskan perjuangannya untuk menjadi seorang. Dari Pempetisyen juga ini berterima kasih kepada rakan-rakan karibnya iaitu Azizul, Arif, Atika, Syaza, Fatanah, Liana, Hamdan, Sharmila, Hani dan Corin atas segala pertolongan, dorongan dan galakan sepanjang tempoh latihan dalam kamar Pempetisyen. Pempetisyen juga ingin merakamkan penghargaan kepada Fakulti Undang-Undang Universiti Teknologi Mara dan segala tenaga pengajar atas pengorbanan yang mereka telah lakukan untuk Pempetisyen. Terakhir sekali, Yang Arif, Pempetisyen ingin mengucapkan terima kasih yang tidak terhingga kepada Encik Khairezan bin Azizi kerana sudi mengambilnya sebagai pelajar pelatih dalam kamar dan untuk didikan dan pengkongsian ilmu sepanjang Pempetisyen menjalankan latihan dalam kamar di kamar Encik Khairezan. Pempetisyen juga ingin berterima kasih kepada Puan Azilah Ali untuk segala tunjuk ajar yang telah diberikan kepada Pempetisyen. Ya Arif, saya percaya Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang layak dan sepatutnya terima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Malaya ini, Ya Arif. Saya sesungguhnya percaya kertas kausa yang telah difalkan oleh Pempetisyen adalah teratur, tiada bantahan dari rakan bijaksana saya yang telah dikenalkan awal tadi, Yang Arif. Saya, Yang Arif dengan rendah diri mengusul Mahkamah yang mulia ini untuk menerima, masuk dan mendaftaraikan Pempetisyen Sofia Soraya binti Abdul Hadi sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Sila diperkenalkan, Yang Arif.
Ada bantahan, Ya Arif?
No objections, Manu.
Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor tiada bantahan, Yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Sofi Soraya binti Abdul Hadi untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih, Ya Arif. Saya memohon kebenaran untuk Pempetisyen menyarung jubahnya sendiri, Ya Arif.
Silakan.
Terima kasih, Arif.
Sama-sama.
Terima kasih, Arif.
Izin, Ya Arif. Petisyen ke-6 18-434-03-2020. Silakan P6 perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin, Ya Arif, saya Nur Syirah Bata Ubaka, Pempetisyen ke-6.
Silakan M6.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Aimi Syazwani bagi pihak Pempetisyen ke-6. Yang Arif, bersama-sama saya adalah rakan-rakan bijaksana yang mewakili pihak Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Malaysia Peguam Kuala Lumpur yang telah memperkenalkan diri sebelum ini, Yang Arif. Yang Arif, izinkan saya memperkenalkan Pempetisyen. Pempetisyen telah dilahirkan pada 7 Mei 1996 di Melaka. Pempetisyen merupakan anak terakhir daripada 4 orang adik-beradik kepada Encik Abu Bakar bin Ahmad dan Puan Jamilah binti Abu Samah. Pempetisyen telah mendapat pendidikan awal di Sekolah Rendah Bukit Baru, Melaka dan menamatkan pendidikan menengahnya di Sekolah Menengah Tinggi Perempuan Melaka. Sejak di sekolah menengah, impian Pempetisyen adalah menjejakkan kaki ke Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia dalam jurusan undang-undang. Pempetisyen telah diterima masuk ke Pusat Matrikulasi Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia di Petaling Jaya pada 2015 dan seterusnya Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia Gombak pada 2016. Beliau telah menamatkan pengajiannya pada Januari 2020 dan dianugerahkan ijazah Sarjana Muda Undang-Undang dengan kepujian. Pempetisyen kemudian telah memulakan latihan dalam kamarnya di Tetuan CHE Nora di bawah pengajaran Tuan Lee Chin Ho. Sepanjang latihan dalam kamarnya, Pempetisyen telah mempelajari berkenaan dengan perundangan Malaysia dengan lebih mendalam lagi. Pengajarnya banyak mencurahkan ilmu terutamanya dalam kes-kes berkenaan undang-undang keluarga sivil, undang-undang korporat, undang-undang hartanah dan sivil litigasi. Pempetisyen turut mempelajari proses pemfailan, penyediaan kertas-kertas pleading bagi litigasi am di Mahkamah Rendah dan Mahkamah Tinggi. Tambahan kepada itu, Pempetisyen turut berpeluang dan mempelajari serta mendapatkan pengalaman menguruskan kes rayuan di Mahkamah Majlis, dari Mahkamah Magistrate ke Mahkamah Tinggi. Yang Arif, di kesempatan ini, Pempetisyen memanjatkan rasa kesyukuran kepada Allah SWT dan selawat atas junjungan Nabi Muhammad SAW untuk setiap anugerah kehidupan serta insight-insight yang telah ditakdirkan Allah kepadanya. Dan kedua-dua inilah yang telah membawa Pempetisyen berdiri di sini pada hari ini, Arif. Di hari yang bersejarah ini, Pempetisyen mendedikasikan sepenuhnya perhargaan beliau kepada ibu bapanya untuk kasih sayang tanpa penghujung, bimbingan dan sokongan sepanjang Pempetisyen bernafas. Tiada apa yang lebih menggembirakan Pempetisyen di dunia selain daripada kesihatan dan lindungan Allah buat kedua ibu bapanya, Encik Abu Bakar dan Puan Jamilah. Tidak dilupakan juga kepada adik-beradik, keluarga, guru-guru, pensyarah-pensyarah dan teman-teman untuk jasa, doa dan dorongan mereka. Penghargaan khas Pempetisyen kepada pengajar beliau, Tuan Lee Chin Ho, yang telah banyak membimbing, mengajar serta bersabar dengan kerenah Pempetisyen. Penghargaan ini juga dipanjangkan untuk Tuan Lee Chin Ho dan keluarga di atas tunjuk ajar dan nasihat serta sokongan sepanjang tempoh latihan Pempetisyen di firma tersebut. Sekali lagi, Pempetisyen ingin merakamkan penghargaan kepada semua yang telah hadir dalam hidup Pempetisyen. Sesungguhnya, Pempetisyen amat bersyukur kepada Allah kerana dipertemukan dengan insight-insight yang terbaik dan pastinya segala panduan dan tunjuk ajar mereka tidak akan Pempetisyen sia-siakan. Yang Arif, saya percaya bahawa semua surat cara Pempetisyen adalah sempurna dan teratur. Saya juga sungguhnya percaya Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan menurut Akta Profesi Undang-Undang 1976 dan bahawa rakan bijaksana saya juga yang mewakili badan-badan yang berkenaan tidak mempunyai sebarang bantahan. Oleh yang demikian, Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon agar untuk satu perintah bahawa Pempetisyen ini dapat diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara di Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Ada bantahan, Yang Arif?
No objections, Manu.
Ada bantahan, Yang Arif?
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Nur Syahira binti Abu Bakar untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih, Arif. Ya Arif, saya mohon untuk Pempetisyen diberikan kebenaran mencubahkan diri dia sendiri, Arif.
Silakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Sama-sama.
Dengan izin Arif, petisyen ke-7 18-2054-12-2019. Silakan P7, perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Faith Chan Making, Pempetisyen ke-7.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Philip Potong Ni, pengusul Pempetisyen Faith Chan Making. Beliau hadir pada pagi ini dan rakan-rakan yang bijaksana, saya dari Attorney General's Chambers, Peguam Negara dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Selangor telah pun diperkenalkan. Yang Arif, dengan izin, saya memohon kebenaran untuk meneruskan proceeding ini dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dibenarkan, silakan.
Thank you, Your Honour. Permit me to say a few words about this time-honoured event. This is my second time that I'm privileged to appear before Your Lordship, and I'd like to acknowledge, sometimes the presiding judge is not acknowledged properly, the graciousness of which you hold your office, and always this winsomeness when the technology fails. I remember the last time it failed on me for a while, and you gently reminded me, Mr. Cole, can you come online? This is something that I want to record. I think all my learner friends would also record our graciousness, even this morning, and the way you say sama-sama in such a way that really warms our heart. Before this morning proceeding, my learned friends from the Bar, Council and others, we were sharing about the time when we were young and we were moved in calls like this. And now we are moving calls of people who are as young as, or as now matured now, as our children. This is a passing of the baton. This is why we, when invited to move calls, we feel honored and humbled, and to listen afresh the advice given by learned judge like you at the end of the ceremony, to remind ourselves of the virtues and ethics of our profession as we serve the honorable courts as officers of your court. Yang Arif, now, by your leave, I should introduce the petition proper. Yang Arif, her name is Faith Chan Making. The petitioner is the younger of two siblings. Her brother, also known to me, is Chan Ka In. The petitioner is the daughter of a very learned counsel, well known in the north and also in Klang Valley, as he has worked hard through the courts, even at the highest level of the courts. He is Mr. Chan Kok Kiong, a dear friend of mine, of whom I have grown to respect and honor. And so when he requested for me to move his daughter's call, I of course readily accepted. She is also born to her mother, Valerie Soon. Valerie is also a dear friend of my family. Therefore, there is the double honor for me today to share this occasion. Valerie is a gifted lady who raised a family while, of course, we husbands, busy with our law practice, left very much the children to our mothers. And Valerie soon rose to the occasion and raised two very fine individuals, of which one of them this morning is before this honorable court. And Valerie herself is a gifted lady, of which soon we can see part of this giftedness of both the parents have been inherited by their dear daughter. Ms. Chan acknowledged her gratitude to her parents as usual.
Very often when I listen to these acknowledgements, I have tears in my eyes. Maybe I'm a bit emotive. Just now, one of the petitioner talked about being raised by a single parent. Then we hear about the sacrifices of the parents. And once again, we're reminded for our own selves how we are part of a larger human family. Ms. Chan said that she would not be where she is standing today before your Lordship if not for her parents' unconditional love, encouragement, and provision of support whenever she needed it, to achieve whatever she wanted, to flourish the gifts that she has been showered upon by God Almighty. Indeed, she acknowledged that she has never been in want, and for that, she shall ever be grateful. Yes, we need to be reminded we should be ever grateful to our parents' love and care. My Lord, the petitioner read law in the United Kingdom at the University of Kent in Canterbury, a very fair city indeed, of which many of us have the opportunity to visit. She obtained a Bachelor of Laws there, and as I glanced through the syllabus of the University of Kent, I realized that it is not just a kind of a course to train you to be able to open your mouth in court or to be able to draft some documents. Indeed, the privilege of legal learning through the universities and the disciplines that she was exposed to reminds us that the vocation of law is, in fact, the combination of a deep sense of commitment to the disciplines of humanities and how the processes of society and communities ought to be run. And law is but one of the humble servant to such discipline. So she was privileged to procure a second upper honors of Bachelor of Laws. And then the petitioner proceeded to complete the Bar Professional Training course at the City of Law School and was called to the Middle Temple in the July of 2019. My Lord, the calling to the bar in England is again a time-honored tradition. But in the midst of all this busyness, I had a look at your petitioner's activities, and I realized that truly the young encourages us that the practice of law and the training to become a lawyer is not merely the sorting of exams and spotting questions to pass the exam. The petitioner was involved in various student activities in various capacities. Not only that, he was awarded music scholarship and recognized as one of the Kent Student Symphony Orchestra, playing that wonderful instrument, the cello. And also, she's gifted in the piano. My Lord, therefore, this petitioner is well endowed to help perhaps in the practice of the law, because we know that in the practice of law, there is disparate strands of melodies that come before honorable courts. And out of those disparate strands, the court must make sense of it to find the beauty of truth and justice. My Lord, upon her completion of studies, the petitioner returned back to Malaysia. She joined the firm of Screen, of which, my Lord, if on a personal side, I must say, I too read in chambers there. So that is a kind of a link that we all have. She commenced her pupillage under the tutelage of my late friend. I must confess that as I say his name, I remember him well, the late Mr. Vinayagar Raj, who was my junior in Screen when I was there about 30 years ago. Mr. Vinayagar sadly passed away before your petitioner complete her pupillage, and so she subsequently moved under the pupillage of Encik Farid bin Abdul Aziz. The petitioner wishes in particular to acknowledge the contribution of the late Mr. Vinayagar and Encik Farid and in particular, her colleague Karen Kaur for their mentorship and guidance throughout her time in Mrs. Screen. The petitioner also wishes to express her appreciation to her pupil mates and screenies. I didn't realize that there's such a word called screenies. I thought it's screenians, but never mind. Your petitioner said there are too numerous to name in this morning, but who will ever remain in her thoughts and appreciation. They have all made her pupillage and time there as a paralegal. Upon her completion, she continued to work as a paralegal while awaiting this call, my lord. It was an incredible, enjoyable, and memorable experience for your petitioner. To Miss Grace Ma, your petitioner could have not wished for a better person to share, learn, and spend sleepless nights on Microsoft Teams with. My lord, we all realize that without our friends, we perish. We are so glad that your petitioner has such friends that has graced her life. Through laughter and through tears, sometimes both at the same time. My lord, the young petitioner found time to found a website, and they call it the Law Quacks, combination of word Law Quacks. Fortunately, we're not in the medical profession, but that would be a wrong choice of words, medical quacks. This website, lawquacks.com, I had a quick glance at it. They have wonderful metaphors like diving deep into the law. My lord, as I think of this metaphor of quack, I remember your petitioner as a young toddler girl running around with my daughters. And now he has turned into a lovely swan about to take wing in the legal world and firmament. So it is truly a privilege for me to usher her in with my learned friends from the various learned bodies. Your petitioner now records her appreciation for her friends from school, college, university, the bar school, and more, and despite all her shortcomings, for always being there for her and for being a pillar of support throughout her growth towards being a full-grown professional. She now records her gratitude to me, which is always an embarrassing moment. My lord, as I've said, she said that I had known her since her birth. Not quite. I didn't think I was there when she was ushered into this world. But as a toddler, yes, we do know our family were friends, introduced to us by the late professor from the SOAS. My lord, as I recount this, and the petitioner expresses her thanks to not only myself, but my family, I am grateful that we could take part in these proceedings through the avenue of Zoom. And as I come to the close of this moving, I think of her name, my lord, and with permission, Faith. As I read the good book, there is a verse in the Bible that says, "The righteous shall live by faith." My lord, as we look at our life and the search and quest in law and justice, we ask ourselves, are there righteous people in our midst? We all pray to God Almighty that we will do what is right in life. And her name, Faith, reminds us that all of us who want to live faithfully, according to what we are raised by our parents, according to the virtues of our profession, of which my Lord will soon remind all of us, yes, the righteous shall live by faith and by faithfulness to these virtues, to these time-worn teachings from the good books of our traditions and religion. My Lord, I do believe and respectfully, humbly move that Miss Faith Chan Mei King is a fit and proper person to be admitted to the role of an advocate and solicitor in the High Court of Malaya. I do believe that her papers are in order, and my learned friends whom I really enjoyed sharing this moment, and I do not know all of them personally, but my honorable friend Alex Chan has always been a stalwart in the Bar Council, and seeing him always cheer my heart. I do believe Faith Chan Making's papers are in order, and that my learned friends therefore has no objections. As such, I humbly pray for the order in terms that the petitioner Faith Chan Making be admitted. May I wait for my learned friends from the other body in the court.
Tiada bantahan, Ya Arif.
My Lord, I'd like to express my thanks and gratitude to Mr. Chan, Mr. Koh's kind words. My Lord, I know Mr. Chan Kok Kyong himself, the father of your humble petitioners, and under the guidance and tutelage of her father, my Lord, I verily believe that she is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate in the South High Court of Malaya. Therefore, we have no objections, my Lord.
Tiada bantahan, Yang Arif.
Dengan kuasa yang diberikan kepada saya di bawah Akta Profesion Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini menerima masuk Faith Chan Making untuk didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
My Lord, we are much obliged, and because of the MCO, I pray that the petitioner would rope herself. Normally, we would ask permission for the father, being a barrister and advocate, to be granted permission. I could imagine the invisible hand of Chan Kok Kyong robing this young lady now from the time where she was born from the birth ward in swaddling clothes and now in the legal robe to be admitted to this honorable court as an advocate and solicitor. Much obliged, my Lord.
Dipersilakan, silakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Sama-sama.
Terima kasih kepada semua wakil-wakil jabatan dan peguam pengusul. Tahniah diucapkan kepada semua pempetisyen yang telah didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Diminta sekali lagi agar diingatkan tuan-puan kekal di kedudukan masing-masing dan tidak menutup video walaupun setelah selesai ucapan dari Yang Arif Hakim. Terima kasih. Seterusnya ucapan dari Yang Arif Hakim.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera dan selamat pagi. Pertamanya, Mahkamah ingin merakamkan ucapan terima kasih kepada wakil-wakil daripada pihak-pihak yang berkenaan, iaitu daripada Yang Berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Selangor, serta peguam-peguam pengusul yang telah sudi hadir bagi meraihkan majlis kita pada pagi ini. Saya juga ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk merakamkan ucapan terima kasih kepada ibu bapa, keluarga, rakan-rakan dan semua yang hadir meluangkan masa bagi menyaksikan majlis kita pada pagi ini yang telah dapat disaksikan dan disiarkan secara langsung melalui sidang video. Tidak lupa juga Mahkamah ingin merakamkan ucapan terima kasih dan syabas kepada semua tenaga pengajar, iaitu masters dan firma-firma Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara yang telah membimbing dan memberi tunjuk ajar kepada pempetisyen sehingga menjadi peguam pada pagi ini. Elizabeth Yu Chesin, Jesslyn Ling Lee Jin, Tan Pei Pei, Jin Lui, Sophie Soraya binti Abu Hadi, Nur Syahira binti Abu Bakar, dan Fechan Yakin. Syabas dan tahniah. Today is a happy day. Indeed, it is an important and auspicious occasion for all of you who have been called to the Malaysian Bar and admitted as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. Being called to the bar is the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and commitment on your part, and not forgetting the sacrifice of your parents in supporting you emotionally and financially over the years. Let me be among the first to congratulate you on your success. You have passed all your exams and you have survived the 9 months of chambering, and you are now about to take the first step in your professional career. It is a tradition of the bench and the bar for a judge to say a few words of encouragement and guidance to all newly admitted members of the bar on a long tall day. With this first step today, you are embarking on a long professional journey. There will be many roadblocks, obstacles along the way, but we must never lose sight of our destination. Long-distance runners must have strength, courage, and stamina to complete the course. And as the saying goes, lawyers never die, we only lose our appeal. There are many virtues and good practices to be followed at the bar to guide lawyers along their professional career. There are in existence, besides the Legal Profession Act, of course, the ethics and etiquette rules and Bar Council rulings. If you follow these rules and rulings, you will no doubt be kept to the straight path and will never have to face the wrath and agony of having to appear before the disciplinary board. Remember always that you are an officer of the court, and it is your bounden duty to uphold the rule of law, to uphold good conscience and good practices, and to act truly and reasonably at all times. Lawyers have a duty to the cause of justice itself. Lawyers must never suppress or distort the truth. Lawyers must not regard legal practice merely as a commercial venture. If this narrow motivation is not checked and allowed to spread, the profession will one day consist of members who are no different from the ordinary salesmen who sell goods or services for money's worth and nothing else. I'm confident that you will strive to achieve excellence in the performance of your obligations and duties at the bar. I'm also confident that you will respect each other at the bar. Mutual respect must be earned and maintained. Respect is not something that is conferred or is received on demand, but it has to be earned. As often said, you command respect, but you cannot demand respect. On that note, let me conclude by congratulating each one of you and your parents and loved ones once again on your admission to the bar. I wish you the very best of luck in your career at the bar. Stay safe, stay healthy. Sekian, terima kasih. Mahkamah ditangguhkan. Court is now adjourned.
Ya, tuan-puan diminta kekal di video masing-masing ya. Ada sesi fotografi. POJ, kami ready. Okay, terima kasih semua. Selesai sudah video long call proceeding hari ini. Boleh leave video lah. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Jurubahasa.
Thank you, Jurubahasa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saiful.